Nick, I just want you to stand still for a minute. Just stand still. I'll be gentle. I swear. I'll be gentle. I just want to take out my competition. Oh, I wasn't really gonna do it.
Don't whack my knee. We don't need that happening.
I won't whack your knee. I trust me. Well, not that I haven't thought about it.
Thanks.
Welcome everybody to a brand new movie review where we talk about I, Tonya. And man, I was really looking forward to seeing this movie. It's definitely gained a lot of award nominations and awards, and people have been giving this movie a lot of praise, and I'm glad we got to see it. Where do you want to start, sir, with I, Tonya?
Well, the first thing I'll say, since we are going to Oscar seasons, I'm a little disappointed this wasn't nominated for Best Picture, because it really should have been. I think it even should have won Best Picture. Seth was telling me it was nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Best Supporting Actress, Best Actress, I think some other awards too, yeah.
I think it definitely Best Supporting Actress, which was Allison Janney.
Janney, yes.
She definitely played the role of Tanya's mother to a T. I definitely think she should win the award, and that's what I have to say about that. As I said, we'll start with the acting before the plot. The acting was phenomenal. I think these people really portrayed the characters. Margot was her name?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, who I don't remember her in other movies. I know
you don't? I do, whether it is...
I remember seeing her face. I don't know the names of movies, though.
Well, yes, whether it's The Wolf of Wall Street. She was in Suicide Squad, of course, playing...
Yes.
Harley Quinn. She was in Focus with Will Smith. She's a very fantastic, as far as I'm concerned, very fantastic actress. I like her a lot. And she pulled off Tonya Harding, I thought, perfectly.
I thought she pulled it off to a T. I thought the boyfriend pulled it off to a T. The only guy I really didn't like, and not that his acting was bad, but you wanted to hate him. There was this fat guy, the bodyguard, who they nicely called him Fat Fuck in the movie quite a few times.
Yeah, they did.
And he's one of those characters you hate, because if it wasn't for him, and this is a true story, and this shows in the movie, none of this would have happened. She wouldn't have lost her career if it wasn't for that asshole, Fat Fuck as they call him.
Well, yeah, I mean, the character of Sean, and...
I'm trying to think the actor's name. He played it, I mean, if that guy was really, and he was a boob in real life, I do know that. He played it really good.
He played it really good. Sebastian Stan, who played Jeff...
did a great job.
He did a great job. He's been in... the Marvel movies playing Bucky,
and if you don't know who Jeff is, Jeff Galooly was Tonya Harding's husband. So if you don't know the whole Tonya Harding story, it was Tonya Harding, Jeff Galooly. Her mother was Ivana Harding.
Yeah, and played by, of course, Allison Janney, as we said.
Yeah.
And all of these actors.
The coach was great.
I forget
I
who
don't know the
that
actress
damn
name.
coach. Yeah, I should have looked
Very
at this
unique,
first.
quiet coach, and that's how the coach was in real life. Kind of just sat back. But what they showed, which I was happy they showed this, she wasn't her coach straight through.
No.
The first Olympics, she had a different coach, which I never knew. I always thought, because most Olympians, most gymnasts, and most ice skaters, they had the same coach their whole career.
Yeah.
So Tonya fired her, got a different coach, and then hired her back.
Yes, and then hired her back. And I thought that was actually an interesting development there. And again, this movie is really about, like, Tonya Harding's life and her love for figure skating and everything that went into her life, all of the struggles and issues that she had leading up to and afterwards of the whole incident with Nancy Kerrigan.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It even showed the boxing at the end where she got into boxing.
Yes, it showed all that stuff.
And what I like about the movie, not just the plot, they show details that are important. This is a mock documentary, so the same time they're acting, they show bits and pieces. This really did happen, or this did happen, or this, he said, she said, especially with the husband, Tonya Harding's husband, this happened, this didn't happen. It was really good how they had like a little mock documentary going on.
Yeah, and what they also would do is that they're in a scene, and then suddenly they'll be like, and this was all true.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they would look at the camera and be like, okay, this has happened, and it would kind of break it up a little bit. But I kind of like that too.
I do. I think it was a unique on the director. I think it was very unique. I don't think I've seen mock documentaries, a lot of them, especially with my friend Gina. She loves documentary mock. This is the first time they showed the story going on, but a documentary going on at the same time. It was really ingenious how they did that.
I mean, they've done it before in other movies. This isn't the first time that they've done it.
For me, it was the first time I've seen a movie
the
like
first time
this.
that they've done that. But it's a really great way of them telling the story and for you to get all the information that they want to put into it for you as well.
What I liked, one of the favorite parts, and I will spoil this, is good. There's a point in the movie, and they show how, you know, they said, well, look how Rocky trained, but they show the training she had for the second Olympics, how she's carrying bags of feed and she's running with gallons of water, and something unusual for a gymnast to get in shape like that. And they really showed what she went through, and they even showed, I didn't know this, most of the time when you're doing Olympics, they tell you no drinking.
No drinking.
No smoking.
No smoking.
No fast food.
No.
No junk food. She was eating Dove ice cream bars. She was smoking a pack of cigarettes. She was drinking like a wazoo, but still working out like crazy. And even parts of the movie, she's sucking on an inhaler while doing competitions. And I told Seth I would say this. I'm a smoker. See, smokers can do anything. All we need is our inhaler, and we're fine.
Wow. Well, you know, all those smoking commercials about, you know, how it, you know, ruins your life, you know.
If Tonya Harding can do it, anybody can do it.
If Tonya Harding can do it, and if she can hire people to beat somebody in the knee.
And there's a movie, I won't tell you the movie, but they want her to be a preppy little girl and have the wholesome life. So young in her skating career, she has to get a fur coat. Let's just say it's not a traditional fur coat.
There's a lot of really nice little bits added in that I thought were really ingenious. And I do have to say this much, as far as her story is concerned, and again, I want to say this as well, based on true story movies or inspired by true story movies, there's a whole lot of truth in there, but there's also a little bit of fabrication that you have to separate from truth a little bit. That being said, you know, whether it was her husband or her mother, she had a lot of abusive relationships.
Absolutely. Well, she even told her mother in the movie, she says, you married me, I would never be with a man that abuses me. And she says, well, where do you think I got it from? And the mother says, excuse me? And she's like, well, maybe you do deserve to be abused, but to keep your fat mouth shut. And it shows the mother was abusive, but the husband was abusive. And their abuse is never right, but the mother explains why she abused her, and the husband explains it. Husband was afraid to lose her. That's why he abused her.
Yes.
He didn't want to lose her. The mother said, I had to push her and get her angry. It made her a better skater. I mean, you even saw, there's one point in the movie that I don't know if you picked up on. Remember her stepbrother?
Yes.
And remember how he's picking on her?
Yes.
And remember how and the mother gave him money?
Yes.
And remember how she had an excellent performance in the ice and was able to do the triple axel?
Yeah.
She couldn't do that. She told the stepbrother to do those things, gave him money. That's why she paid him, to get her angry so she'd have a good performance.
Oh, yes, I noticed that stuff,
Yeah.
yes. I noticed that as well. I thought all that was really genius, really well done. And again, you know, the interesting thing about a movie like this is that, you know, it mixes the dramatic elements in with the comedy and everything like that. And sometimes like when the abuse was happening, you didn't want to laugh, but sometimes it was a little bit funny the way they framed it. But I mean, I will say this much, that the abuse, sometimes I was like, wow. You know, you look at somebody like Tonya Harding, and Tonya Harding was somebody who became the villain. Because of the whole Nancy Kerrigan thing. But you look at this movie, and it kind of sheds a different kind of light on Tonya.
Well, it shows what the Olympics did to her. They never wanted her as an Olympic hopeful. They never wanted the Olympic team. She was doing better than any of the judges, and the judges nicely said, there was a part of the movie, it's not about your skating, it's about presentation. It's never just been about the skating. And that's what pisses me off. I mean, you see today, you have the show American Idol.
Yeah.
It's not just about the singing, it's about how you present yourself, what you dress. And that's why I like shows like The Voice, because it's just about the singing. Same thing with the Olympics in any sport. It should be about the sport. It shouldn't, nothing Nothing else should matter. But the problem with the Olympics, be it gymnasts, ice skating, anything, it's how you dress, how you present yourself. She did not get the scores until she did that triple actual. She proved, you know what, I can do whatever you want me to do, but I am the best damn skater.
Yes, and she proved it time and time again. And, you know, the thing about it is that I felt bad for her at the end of this because, you know, it wasn't her fault. She married not a very smart guy.
Nefarious, I think is the word I would like to use.
Yeah, and that guy surrounded himself with really not idiotic people, and they ended up like bringing her down.
Absolutely.
And I feel bad for her at the end because you look at her and you see like this woman, all her life, all she has as a love of her life is skating.
She has no high school diploma, no GED, no skills. There's a point in the movie where she's waitressing tables.
Yeah, and the idea that, look, if you guys don't really know the real story and everything, please look it up. But the idea that, you know, she loses it all. She can never skate again.
She's crying. What person in their right mind says, give me jail time. I'll take jail time. You're taking love. The love of her life was taken away. I don't think she fully recovered because even in real life, yeah, she did the boxing. But when she was a boxer, they hated her. They wanted her to lose.
Yeah.
They wanted to see her get bullied and punched and bleeding, and they wanted her teeth knocked out. They wanted her vilified. Even to this day, she is very popular, but she's always the villain. Even in the Olympics, they hated her before she was Olympian because she wasn't that wholesome little princess.
Exactly. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, you look at some of these people like Jeff Gillooly and some of these other people who the actors portray as older as well as the younger versions. And as the old versions, they're doing the interviews and everything and basically saying, well, look, I'm really not the bad guy here. And of course, you know, I didn't do some of this stuff. And, you know, it's hard to know. It's hard to say, okay, you know, how much truth is this guy saying versus her, whatever. But you look at Tonya Harding, you look at an incredible talent that she was at skating, and you look at these other people and you say that you can't help but say she had to be the victim in this case. She had to be.
And I like how they made it victim. And I really like how they portrayed them, like the acting, the plot. And the other thing I was going to say, the costumes, they're really key to point with the costumes and the skating was, I mean, of course it wasn't always the lead actress doing the skating, but I thought the skating, the costumes, the dynamics that went on, what goes on to ice skating, practicing 8-12 hours a day.
Oh, man.
And what you have to go through. I mean, what it is to be an Olympian and what she went through and the struggle she went through and how hard she worked to all be taken away. And that was so, you know, she even said, a lot of times they blamed her, well, you got to take fault. And they kind of make fun of her, like she never, this wasn't my fault. And yet they would say it is her fault. A lot of things were not her fault. Yeah, they blamed her at the end when she just couldn't perform the last number.
Yes.
They said her lace was broken. I think it was just the extreme stress, the extreme pressure. Nobody can perform to full quality.
And then even after all that, she does a really great job skating for that Olympics, and she got 8th. And
that's phenomenal.
But she says, "Well, look, I did a great job, and I did 8th. Nancy Kerrigan did a great job, and she got a silver medal." And the idea that she's thinking to herself, "Well, nobody wanted me to win. Nobody wanted me to get on that stage and be a part of the United States and represent the United States, even if it's winning a medal. Because if I were to do that, then everybody looks bad."
Yeah.
And so no matter what happened, she could never really win. And sometimes some of it was her own fault, other times it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to give her credit. She worked her ass off at times to try to prove everybody wrong, and in the end, it didn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the acting, the plot was phenomenal. I'm kind of annoyed that it wasn't nominated for Best Picture, but it's just brilliant movie. I like these. I never used to be a fan of documentaries or mock documentaries, but the way this was done, the back and forth acting, where they said this really did happen, they had like interviews that happened at the same time the plot was happening, and they didn't just show a lot of movies don't show the past. They just show the Olympics, and that's what I thought this was going to be. They're just going to show it from the incident to, you know, from a little bit before the incident. No, this showed her childhood, what happened in her childhood, what happened growing up, what happened in her teenage years. They showed her whole life story, and that's why I like I, Tonya. It wasn't just about the Olympics and her dreams. It showed her whole life history.
It showed her whole life history, everything that she went through, the struggle she went through, the abuse that she went through, that the happy moments, the sad moments, everything that happened. And, you know, I don't know how people like Nancy Kerrigan or Tonya Harding, the real version.
Tonya Harding likes this movie.
I know
that she actually said in an interview, my mom was watching it, they portrayed her mother perfectly in this movie. Her mother was portrayed perfectly to a T.
And I know that Nancy Kerrigan does not want to watch this movie. She does not want to watch this. No, Nancy Kerrigan's not a fan. But I really think Tonya Harding deserves to get paid for this movie. For the rights to this movie, I don't know if they will, because she owed so much in settlements. She probably paid that back now. Oh, by now, yeah.
She really deserves a cut of this movie.
I think she does. And look, even at the end, they show all of the real-life counterparts, whether it was Sean or Jeff, Nancy, Tonya, and Tanya's mother.
Yeah.
And you look at them, you're like, wow, they portrayed these people to a damn T.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they really did, because you look at them, you're like, wow, this person actually looked like that.
Yeah, the main actress they made looks extremely similar to Tonya Harding. Even the makeup in the last Olympic performance she did looked like Tonya Harding's makeup.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job recreating so much stuff for this movie. And the director of this, Craig Gillespie, he directed things like Lars and the Real Girl and the Fright Night remake and a few other things.
I thought this was an amazing movie.
This is an amazing movie.
I thought the directing, they need to give him more big pictures to direct.
He did a great job with this movie, and I feel like, you know, with certain directors, and especially somebody like him, if you ever saw Lars and the Real Girl, which I did, and it's a great film, the idea that if he has a project that he really loves and he really is invested in, then man, he does a phenomenal job at it. And this is one of those movies that he really just knocked it out of the park.
Absolutely. The directing was phenomenal.
Directing was phenomenal. The screenplay was phenomenal. Everything worked in this movie's favor, and it's one of the best surprises that I'm glad we got
to see. I'm very glad I picked this movie. I was very happy.
Absolutely. What are your final thoughts and grade rating on I, Tonya, sir?
Well, the only thing I wanted to say is they really matched the times when they did show the car, the old piece of crap car.
Yeah, they did.
They showed the truck. And the other thing I like, which they showed the media, we didn't mention the media, there was a point in the media where they said they actually, I can't believe they did this, but they admitted, slashed her tires and got her car towed away just so she couldn't leave, just so she would be forced to talk to the media.
Yes.
That part I really enjoyed. It shows what the media did to this poor woman. But I said, that portrayal, the costumes, the design, the plot, the acting, phenomenal. You want my grade rating?
Yes, what's your grade rating, sir?
I would have to say, out of all the movies, Jumanji comes close, but this is definitely A+, high A+.
Wow, boy, we've been seeing some good stuff as of late, I'm telling you. Look, for me, this was one that was always on the calendar for me to watch, whether it was going to be with you or somebody else, because I just loved the trailer. I was around. I lived through the whole thing, just as you, the whole real life incident. We were young, though. But I mean, I
saw it. I mean, 1992 it happened. I was 23, so I was 90.
I thought it was 94. It was 94.
Oh, yeah, the first Olympics was 92, it was 94. So I might have been, 11 years old?
Yeah, I mean, I still remember it, though. But, you know, what you said is that, you know, what's great about this movie is it opens so many ideas of, like, oh, my God, I didn't understand
Tonya.
I didn't understand Tonya at that point. Now I do, and things come to light so much clearer now than back then when everybody just vilified her and nobody really knew much about what was really going on.
Yeah.
For me, acting's phenomenal, directing's phenomenal. This whole movie is just fantastic from top to bottom. For me, it's an A+.
awesome.
It's
Same
an
gravy.
A+, man. It's
Go
absolute-
see this movie.
Go see this movie. If it's playing at a theater near you, go see it. If you can't see it in a theater.
Especially right before the Olympics. It's something to watch right before the Olympics. This is a good piece before the Olympics.
Absolutely. Check it out on Blu-ray and DVD when it comes out, or however you can. It's absolutely 100% worth it. And Margot Robbie, as I said, she just continues to be a fantastic actress.
She was great, but I still like the Janie. What was her name?
Allison Janney.
She was my favorite in the whole movie.
She was great. She did a great job too. Everybody did. So, about that knee, Nick.
No, I don't need knee surgery. I'm not going to be an Olympic skater.
I know, but this will be great when we have our, Film Fan 108, and I can, we can have our whole own
You're
movie.
not bashing my knee.
Oh, jeez, okay. What a Debbie Downer. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up, and we will be back next time for another movie review with less like striking batons. Man, I do like these striking batons though, and I could really use these in reviews a lot. All right, guys. Take care.